Oh, good evening. You guys always surprise me like that. Welcome to another riveting edition of The Ghost and the Goat. Excuse me as I. Oh my God. Oh, it's so delightful. I'll get into that. I'll get into that in a minute. Oh, I will so get into that in a minute. Well, like I said, welcome to another riveting edition of The Ghost and the Goat. This is our first episode of 2025. I'd like to welcome everybody back to look at my shining, beautiful face on your computer or TV screens or cell phones. This is a journey into the paranormal. I, Buddy Thayer, is a paranormal investigator. I'm going to hold you by the hand. I'm going to walk you into the world of the paranormal. I'm going to show you a little bit of this. Going to show you a little bit of that. Going to bring you some Bigfoot people. Going to bring you some UFO people. Going to bring you tonight. I got a ghost guy, really cool guy. He's kind of a clown guy too, but yeah, whatever. He's no clown. He's just a clown guy. Going to bring you anything and everything involved with the paranormal. From like EVPs to like from mediums to like people's videos, whatever we got, whatever you got, whatever you want to give us. I like to give people that platform to talk about it and whatever it is. You got books. Come on and talk about your books, whatever you got going on. You got stuff about these drones that people are seeing all over the place. Is it kids? Is it aliens? Is it alien kits? I don't know. I honestly I think it's like just a well organized human thing, but time will tell, I guess. Walking into all that. Then we get the goat, which is my co-host Bams is running a little bit late tonight. He has a prior engagement, so hopefully he gets to that. Works his way down the 195 real quick and on to the show where the goat will bring in the sports world. So everything sports. And like, buddy, what's the paranormal have to do with sports? You tell me like one team, one sport that doesn't have something paranormal about it, whether it be a curse or a streak or wearing the same lucky socks for like 3 months because you could get hits off of that. That's paranormal in itself. And so we kind of jam them both together. Bam's being a big sports guy, me being a little bit of, and I'm kind of a big sports guy too, but I'm a paranormal guy, like I said, and Bams is the kind of interested in the paranormal. So we kind of like jam it together. And that's what you get. That's what you're going to get tonight. Before I get into tonight's tremendous guest, a few really, well, not really quick announcements. Well, I'm going to take a sip of my beer. Oh my God. This is a peanut butter and jelly sour ale. It's not Whalers like the glass dictates. It's actually Vigilant, which is a nice little brewery in Bristol, Rhode Island. It's very light. It's very crushable. It's only like it's like 5% alcohol by volume, so I could drink like 10 of these in a day. Be okay to function. Be okay. Maybe my speech might be a little slurred, but whatever. It smells. It presents as this isn't a beer show. I'm gonna get on that in a minute. You get that? It's like grape jelly in your nose, and then you sip it like this. And it's more grape jelly, and then as you swallow it, it's like, oh wow, it's like circus peanuts. Like you feel it's such complexities of taste and flavor. A show that I don't know if you're familiar with, one of our shows on a Van Down by the River podcast called Three Dudes Brews. It features myself and my two dudes, Costas and Ed. Together we traveled to different breweries. You can catch episode 6. We're gonna crack that open later on this month. It features the 3 of us going to Tower Hill Brewing down in South Kingston, Rhode Island. Some tremendous beers. They have 14 beers on draft. They're every style of beer that you can imagine, every kind of style of beer that you didn't even know existed, and they have that one seltzer for the non-beery person. So it's something to check out. So check out Three Dudes Brews. Not do we just Three Dudes Brews pre-recorded vodcast. Not just do we go to breweries and sample their beers and enjoy their beers, and sometimes Buddy swims in their beers, but we also have started to give back this year. So we started like a bit of a fundraising mission, you could call it. So in November, we collected almost $500. This is the logo. Almost $500, 500 pounds rather of non-perishable food items. We placed bins at the White Dog Distilling in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, Crooked Current Brewery, also in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and Six Pack Brewing out in Bristol, which is unfortunately he closed shop a few weeks ago, but great guy, Mark Pappy. Thanks for all that you do for us, guy. He helped us raise a lot of food, and we donated it to the St. Edward's Food Bank there on Branch Ave. If anybody's familiar with Rhode Island, in Providence, Rhode Island, they have a food pantry. Lots of homeless people show up there every day. It's nice to be able to give back. I work in human services and psychology in my day job, so it's nice to be able to give back to the community. In December, this is another fundraiser we did. We raised money for, I don't know if you could, it's kind of like off shot with my green, but the Hasbro Children's Hospital down there in Providence, Rhode Island. It's a children's hospital. It's kids are there. It's not a good, it's never good to see sick kids. So we got together and we did a fundraiser, a GoFundMe account. Oh God! Oh, excuse me. And we raised money throughout December with the promise, if we made it, well, our promise was, our goal was $1,000. We didn't make it to $1,000, but if people help us to raise money for our charity, we would have taken the New Year's Day polar bear plunge. Let me tell you guys, the water in Rhode Island is scenic. It's beautiful in the summertime. It's a little chilly in the summertime, but in the beginning of January, well, it was like 50 degrees air. The water was about a balmy 48, and the thing was, I'm like, Ed, this is Ed here splashing like a little kid in the pool. This is Costas in the middle of the Greekiest guy I know. He's really not thrilled at all. Yeah, I walked in. I did what I had to do. I'm like, I'll do it. I'm like, Ed, I'm not playing water polo. I'm not playing Marco Polo. I'm not playing fish out of water. I'm going in. I'm going underwater, and I'm coming out. And that's exactly what I did. But we did what we said we were going to do. I bitched the entire time going in. After about 3 minutes of standing in the icy waters of the Atlantic Ocean, I couldn't feel my legs from the knees down. It was, it was cold. I don't recommend anybody go swimming during this weather. It's not a swimming season really here in Rhode Island. Unfortunately, though, we were able to raise close to, just over $600 for the Hasbro Children's Hospital here in Providence. That was cool. We're doing a new fundraising project. It's going to start in March. So March here in Rhode Island is Rhode Island Craft Beer Month. Let me give you a big old toast to that. Being a part of the Rhode Island craft beer scene, we at Three Dudes Brews have gotten to know a lot of the good people in the craft beer community. One of which is a gentleman by the I went to stadium mode. A gentleman by the name of Mark Ambrose. Mark is a tremendous guy. We connected, me and him, through the love of beer, and we're both widowers. So I mean, we both had that kind of like shared connection. He's just like he's a cool guy, and he likes to drink great beers. And he's like the I don't know, he's like my Uncle Mark that went to the breweries that I never had. Anyway, Mark and I and the dudes, we got together and I'm like, dudes, I need to do a charity where I don't have to submerge myself in the icy, frigid waters of the Northern Atlantic. I'm like, buddy, go on. I'm like, okay. So starting February 1st, tickets go on sale. Tickets. For every ticket that you buy, we are going to send you a bingo card. Now, bear in mind, to play this game, you have to visit I'll show you the bingo card. Hold on, let me get it. It's called Mark Ambrose Bingo. Mark is known for going to brewery and posting his pictures of him taking selfies with people, drinking good beer at the breweries, taking selfies with brewers. He's a fun-loving guy. It's like a tradition almost the last 2 years. If you see Mark in a brewery, you got to take a picture with him. So we came up with this tremendous idea. This is actually Costas' idea. It was kind of a joke. And I'm like, hey, I think we could do this. So we're going to sell tickets or bingo cards starting February 1st. Sales will run from February 1st to February 25th. For every ticket that you buy, we will randomize a bingo card with these brew pubs and establishments spread out all most of northern Rhode Island and southern and southeastern Massachusetts. A few in Mass, but they're like, you throw a rock into the bucket. And you go there, and if you see Mark, you take a selfie with Mark. And then that's your marker on your bingo card. I'll show you the bingo card. The first person to win to get a straight bingo, no free space. That's the free space, the beer, obviously. This is Mark in the background. I don't know if you all can see it. It's kind of, it's different on the screen. First person to get like a traditional bingo, like right across here, or down one of these, or down at the bottom, but not diagonal because that free space, right? Wins bingo. So you got to post, take all your photos, take your winning card, and message or post them to the Three Dudes Brews Facebook page. Just look us up, Three Dudes Brews. This is our logo. No, not me in the ocean half naked. This is our logo. Find us on Facebook, follow us, like us. During the month of March, we will be throwing out hints as to where Mark might be headed. They're going to be tricky hints. I'm not going to like, hey, Mark's going to be at Lobs tonight, or Mark's going to be in Woonsocket. They're going to be, they're going to require a little bit of thought, a little bit of knowledge, maybe beer knowledge, maybe Americana knowledge. I'm a big history guy. Maybe I'll throw some ghost stuff out there. But anyway, at any rate, we're hoping to sell these and to do this drawing. And the winner of the bingo, the first person that calls bingo that has a winning bingo, wins the pot, splits the pot with Mark's. I gave Mark the choice. It's any charity that he wanted to donate to, and Mark chose the Ronald McDonald House, which is they're down in Providence. They're right over near the hospital. It's actually kind of connected to Hasbro Children's Hospital, almost right across the street. It's a program that's set up for families that are traveling with children that are hospitalized. It gives them a place to stay, gives their family a place to stay, gives them something good to eat, gives them like a home base. I don't know if you've ever had a kid in the hospital, you ever had family in the hospital. My wife was in the hospital constantly. I was living between the hospital and work and my car, and run home to feed the dog and go back to work for 12 hours. It's a nightmare, right? So Ronald McDonald House, that's our charity. We're hoping the bingo tickets are going to be $10 a pop. So if you're a beer drinker, if you're a beer enthusiast here in Rhode Island, you can. It's a great way to get around, to meet people, for the beer community, for everybody to have kind of like a good old time. And then it's a great way to make some money too, if you're into the whole gambling thing. And then it's another good thing for us to raise this incredible amount of money for a tremendous organization. So big cheers. Stay tuned for that. Oh, all that beer is going to be gone by the time my guest comes on. Anyway, one more quick announcement, and we're going to move on to tonight's show. So, as I said earlier in the intro, I'm a paranormal investigator. My group, Ocean State Paranormal, we have an investigation later on this month. We do residential, we do local cases. We also do fundraising. One of the organizations that I fundraise for the most is close to my heart. It's one of the best museums in the country, in my eyes, in most people's eyes. It's the unofficial Rhode Island Military History Museum. It has artifacts that you wouldn't even imagine even existed anymore. It has the second oldest flag in the Western Hemisphere. So North America, South America, Mexico, Central America, all those countries. There's one older in Mexico City, and then there's this one. It was used in the King Philip's War. There's uniforms, there's documents, there's letters, there's journals, there's diaries, there's the Gettysburg gun. There's all this incredible stuff that they not only house there, but they conserve, they preserve, and they do it all on their own dime. So it's all volunteer efforts. So the incredible work that they do at the Armory, I'd like to, as I'm a docent there, I've a bunch of investigations there. I've done public investigations there. And so we do anything we can to help them to raise money to fund their efforts, to even like just to keep the heat on for a month where they don't have to pay for it. Because like I said, everything's out of their own pockets. Everything's from grants and from from member dues and stuff like that. So we do what we can. So later this year in May, we're going to do May, right, the Saturday before, or actually April. We'll do the first one in April. I think we decided on April 5th. It will be Sarah Gagney. You might know her from The Conjuring House. And Brian Densero, also former employees of The Conjuring House. Brian and I used to work together at Bridgewater State Hospital. I didn't know the whole time I worked with this dude. He was a medium. And then I had him on another show that I was on, and I was like, wow, you know your shit, huh? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm kind of into this thing. I'm like, oh, look at that. I'm kind of into this thing too, but just not like that. And we're going to bring them out and have a gallery reading, the two of them. And I'm not going to get into everything that happened with anything that happened with Brian in Burrville, because it's not my place. But he kind of got the shit end of the stick, if you know what I mean. So she's kind of hurting for some cash. So this is a good way to help Brian out, to help the Armory out, help Sarah out. They're all wonderful people. And then on about 6-7 weeks later, the Saturday before Memorial Day, if you've seen her on here before, she's tremendous. Christina Marie. She's a medium. She's come on and done tarot card readings, and every person I've had get read by her, they're like, buddy, like, this girl's amazing. Like, yeah, and that's why she keeps coming on. So I have had the privilege of working with this girl on ghost stuff, and again, she proves to be absolutely tremendous. So she does her own events called Beyond the Veil. So I'm like, hey, you want to do this? You want to do the charity? She jumped right on board. She'd come to Varnum with me. We did a walkthrough with her and Sarah, and it was what they were picking up on in the building was like, all right, yeah, okay, yep, okay, yep, all right, good, yep. And they everything checked. Everything was like, I can't get it. That's a whole other show in itself. But like the absolute accuracy of these women, and it's just like I gotta like get together with you guys and do something. So that's what we're doing. So again, another 50-50 event where all the money that is raised, we'll give 50% to the mediums, and the other 50% will go right to Warner Armory. Ocean State Paranormal, Three Dudes Brews. We want nothing to do with money. We're raising this for other people and going about our way. So that's what's going on here in the van down by the Riv. And that's what we're doing. So stay tuned for all these great events, and thanks for jumping in on the chat room. I appreciate all these comments. I've been blah, 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 blah. I've been running my mouth, and I'm just seeing it all now. So yeah, without further ado, tonight's guest, he's a friend of the show. He's been on before. He's a paranormal investigator. He's a clown of sorts, but he's not a clown. He's kind of like that. He's a Pennywise kind of guy. What else? He's like a retail manager, so that's got to be a nightmare in itself. He's the host of Compass of Curiosities podcast. It hasn't won an Emmy yet, but it will. And what else? Oh, he's an Ohio State University fan. We don't have to bring that up. Welcome back to the show, Russ Stiver. Dude.
The Ohio State University.
There we go. The Ohio
State. I don't see Notre Dame having the Notre Dame University in front of it.
We don't need it, dude. It's just Notre Dame University, Fighting Irish.
Yeah, I'm a Fighting Irishman too, but I mean, you don't see me.
Wormtail, huh? That's not that. Which one is that? Oh, Hoppy. Oh yeah, Hoppy's good. Hoppy's good. They're not bad. They're a little. They give me like acid if I have like a reflux if I have too many of them. There's something.
It's a nice mild flavor, but it's just like every once in a while kind of beer.
Right. Wormtime's not. That's big up where you're at. You're up in Mass there. That's
yep.
I think they have a brewery over in Gillette Stadium, the home of the terrible New England Patriots.
Oh. Let's wait till your co-host a little later on the show, and your co-host joins.
He's a season ticket holder. Let's wait till he comes on.
We'll talk about some sports then.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, speaking of, hold on one second. I got to check the score of the one thing about sports real quick.
Yeah,
I do have to check out the score of the game of the Cleveland Oklahoma City game.
Okay.
Let me see here. Are they playing?
Oh, I can't believe it. They are on fire this year too.
They are absolutely destroying it, and I am so happy that they are. I think we're sitting at 35-1 right now.
Yeah, they split with myself. I think the Celtics are their one loss, and then they beat the Celtics when they came back again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, I'm not checking the score tonight because that's tomorrow. It's Wednesday, not today. You see where my week is.
Yeah, you're already ahead of yourself. I'm way ahead of myself. Today's my hump day, dude. Tuesdays are like tumultuous Tuesdays at work. So I look forward to coming back home, sipping some delicious beers, and talking to some good guests. So it's always a good time. Yeah, for sure. So Russ, Compass of Curiosities. What is it? When can we see you? What's your show about? Right.
So Compass of Curiosities was kind of a brainchild of mine. I was on a podcast prior called Unturned Pages.
Yeah,
with my co-host Jenny Davis. I decided to leave that podcast to kind of focus on my own show a little bit.
Yep.
And kind of bring my name into the field a little bit more. I've been investigating the paranormal for 28 years now.
Yeah.
I haven't investigated much because I had some health issues. So I haven't really been out investigating because it's just my body can't do it.
Yeah, dude. I hear you.
But Compass Curiosity is kind of a brainchild of bringing everything together. What the tagline is kind of like whatever the needle points at.
Mm-hmm.
So I have everything from artists to music recording artists to chefs to authors to my guest last night, and that's another follow-up to your question. My show can be seen every Monday night 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on Compass Curiosity's Facebook page, on Get Haunted Network.
You're seeing us right now and Get Haunted.
Yes, sir.
It's a beautiful people there at Get Haunted.
Oh God,
hey,
yeah.
Big cheers to you guys. I was like off the network. I'm like, hey guys, I'm not on stream yet. Hey, Sarah went in there like a ninja. She worked her samurai magic, and bam, I was back on. Like, you guys are great.
And if I remember correctly, you're the one that reached out to me asking about Get Haunted, about a new show and everything you wanted to do.
Right. So. I needed an outlet. I needed something to. I had connected with another gentleman in Canada, and we were good to go, and everything was fine. And then they announced me, and somebody found out that, and they're like, "No, we're not. We're gonna call a lawyer." And I was like, "Dude, I don't want
to deal with this."
Yeah. No, thanks. Later.
No, but Compass Curiosities
is a fucking podcast, dude. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not the end of the world. Like,
right, no.
It's really not. Like, no. And that's we'll get into the state of the paranormal field here in a little bit, but I won't touch on it too much because I know it's a lot of touchy subjects for a lot of people out there.
Right.
So, but I do what I do, podcasting, because I love to do it. Fun fact about me, I actually didn't find this out until after my grandmother passed away, but during World War II, she was actually a radio broadcaster for a local channel in Ohio.
Oh, shit.
And I didn't know that until she had passed away, and I found like all this stuff and everything like that. And I was asking my parents questions and everything. So I attribute that to, me being so into podcasting and radio and things like that.
Right.
So, right. I mean, it kind of runs in the line of the family.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, as an investigator, dude, I used to do like before COVID, we used to do a lot of like library talks and stuff like that, just to like put out like, this is what we do, and not like, this is what we captured. Maybe maybe we haven't captured. What are your thoughts on it? Or it like propels like some of the things that mysteries of the paranormal to the general public. I feel like podcasting gives me a much bigger platform to shoot off from.
Of course.
Yeah,
it does 100%.
Yeah, it allows me to provide others with like my perspective and other perspectives from all of the country, which is amazing. So,
oh God, yeah. I mean, I'm international over on Compass Curiosity. I have people from Japan, Australia, Romania, like all over the world listening to the podcast. And you know what, everybody out there, I say this every night on the show before I end it, is I can't do what I do without everybody that's listening.
True. Right.
So, I mean, that's what keeps me coming back. That's what keeps me fresh and wanting to bring new guests and everything. Like my show last night was, I had a gentleman, his name's Chris Smith. He, I don't know if anybody out there knows about McCamey Manor.
Tell us about it, Russ, because I'm not entirely familiar myself.
So McCamey Manor is an extreme haunted house.
Mm-hmm.
And by extreme, I mean to the extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are allowed to pull teeth. They are allowed to cut people's hair off. They are allowed to bury you alive. They're allowed to waterboard you.
Oh, no, thank you.
All this shit. No, I don't even do regular haunted houses, let alone something like that.
Right.
So I've been married once before. I've already been through all that.
There's my aunt, she used to investigate with us for a bit. She was a licensed social worker and therapist and stuff up here. So it was a great tool to have, especially when you're talking to people who say that their house is haunted. She was telling me she took a trip. She's in South Carolina now. She took a trip to Savannah, Georgia. Last week, and that's on my bucket list for sure. I mean, the history alone.
Oh, 100%. Just for the history of it.
There's a house out there, some weed house or something like that. And there were
Yep.
like a doctor that buried like so many bodies down there from the Civil War or something, and they were just like mistreated, and this whole the kind of the atypical almost story that you hear from a lot of these places.
Yeah.
And like nobody can go in this basement. No mediums go down there, they get scratched. People go down there, they get pushed, kicked, everything. I'm like, I want to go in that basement. What are your thoughts on places like this? You want to like see for yourself? Do you think a lot of this is hyped up and it's not really as haunted as we think it is sometimes?
Now I'll give you my unpopular opinion on that.
Okay, please.
I'm a self-admitted scaredy cat. Like, it's funny because of what I do.
Yeah, right.
But I have sat in locations by myself before, locked away in rooms before, but if I hear that there's a woman or a man on this certain floor, this certain area that doesn't like men.
Yep.
My ass is like, I'm going. I'll go down.
Right.
I want to see what happens. I've been scratched. I've been pushed. I've been choked. I've been there. I've done all that. Prove it to me.
Give it to me. Yeah, right.
Like, I don't go in provoking, but I go in with the same aspect and respect of, if these are the claims, then prove it actually happened.
Right. Let me see. Right.
Let me validate something.
So, we invested the SK
Pierce.
Yeah. Have you ever been there?
I have not been there yet, but I know Marion very well.
Oh, yeah, she's tremendous. But I mean, that's a good place. So we went there first time with Brandy
Wells.
Yeah. She had a 555 paranormal thing. We were there like investigative team that went around with the public. And after like 3 or 4 hours of doing stuff with the public, Gene Carter and
Gene,
that's where I met them. And that was okay. They gave us some time afterwards to like kind of go where we wanted to go. So if you go up the stairs, that big giant staircase at the bottom, you go to the top of that.
I've seen pictures. I've never been there, but I've seen pictures, so I kind of know what you're talking about.
The first room on the right is the red room, and it has allegedly the guy that like self-combusted or something in the bed, probably like smoking a cigarette, passed out.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. And then the room after that is the nursery. So the nanny allegedly lived in the nursery, and the nanny was maybe allegedly having an affair with old SK, and she didn't like men, so you couldn't go in this. Men were not allowed in this room. So naturally, this is where I'm like, let's go in that room. Let's go in there. We all walked in, right?
Oh, yeah.
There were 5 of us. We all sat around the bed, sat in the area, and I'm like, come on. I'm like, if you don't want men in here, give me a sign. Give me something, dude. No word of a lie. I felt like a finger. It felt like a finger. I was sitting on the floor. It just pressed me on the top of the head. I could feel like that. Like, all right, I didn't get scratched. I didn't get slapped in the face, but I definitely got like incredible EVPs, incredible stuff there. So,
oh god, yeah.
Dude, if you're gonna get anywhere in Massachusetts, go out to SK for sure.
So the one place I do want to go is it was a haunt favorite of mine in Ohio, and it's Madison Seminary.
Yep, I've heard of it.
Owned by Adam Kimmel, and he has done a lot of work to that place. I was up there with the previous owners prior to Adam taking over, and I will tell you what, if you're in the Ohio, PA, Indiana, Illinois, West Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky area, definitely go check this place out. It is definitely, I've had so many experiences there. Actually, I've been scratched there once because one of my investigators on my team felt very uncomfortable on this floor and actually ended up getting tripped. Like she was just like she was standing there and she started walking towards an area. Now, not everything that happens is paranormal. So let's just preface that right now.
Right. And sometimes it will get blamed. The ghost always gets blamed.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So, but she ended up tripping and falling.
Yep.
And the claims on this floor was there was a male up there that doesn't like what's the word I'm looking for? They don't like very assertive females or very assertive people.
Right.
So after that happened, we all went back downstairs. We kind of collected ourselves. We all went outside. We smoked a cigarette, had a little break and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm going back up to that floor.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? If it's going to do it to one of my investigators, because as a team leader, that's like my team is my responsibility.
Right.
So if something happens to my team, guess what? If you can do it to my team, do it to me.
Yeah,
do it to the person that's responsible for it.
Right.
So I went back up there and I was up there probably at a good half an hour, 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I came back down and mind you, this was in February in Ohio, right on Lake Erie.
Yep.
So cold as shit. Cold as shit. So I had a t-shirt, a hoodie, a jacket on, because, we need to bundle up like we're living in Antarctica when we go on investigations.
Mm-hmm.
But I stood up there by myself and I'm like, all right, you don't like people. And I started like, not necessarily, like I said, no, I have never provoked before in my life because I don't believe, one, that's respectful.
Right.
Two, it's not going to garner any more results than if you actually have a conversation with people.
Right.
These people were living once. Have a conversation like a normal human being. Plain and simple.
Right. If somebody walked into my house and started like demanding that I like turn the light on and off and like knock on the wall, and then started calling me names when I didn't, I would I'd be like, hey, screw you. And
yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't
that's
engage.
a fair point.
Right.
No, I'd be like, no, you're done, dude. Like, I'm not even paying attention to you.
Yeah, it's just people like, yeah, it's a ghost, it's a spirit, but it's a person. A lot of these entities retain a lot of I don't know if they retain a lot of memory. I don't know, but they're very people like. They're not treat them like they're,
it also depends on the two types of hauntings. You got to
right.
realize one is residual, one is intelligent.
Yep.
So it depends on the type of spirit you're dealing with.
Yep, for sure. Now, what's your thoughts on this? Is it like my asshole grandfather died, so he's going to be an asshole ghost? Is it an asshole ghost or is it a demon? What are your thoughts, Russ?
No, I never used the D word. I hate the D word. Right. There's a lot of theories bouncing around out there about asshole in life, asshole in death, and that's one of the things that is, very common in the paranormal field, because you get reports of people like, oh, my doors slam and this happens and that happens. And they're like, my dad was an asshole and, he abused me and this and that and everything else. And he died 15 years ago.
Yep.
And that's when everything started happening. So as investigators, we take that information and kind of go, okay, well, what could be happening then?
Right.
I mean, is there some past trauma? Is there, things like that? Like, you can't always go directly to, oh, it's paranormal.
Oh my God, no.
You can't do that.
No.
Like, God, no. I've seen videos of people on YouTube and TikTok reels and everything like that, where people have been walking through places and like, if you're here, let us know. And they hear like a creak on a floorboard or something. And I'm just like,
dude, run.
And they freak out. They're like, oh my God. And they run. And I'm just like, first of all, the place you're in is built in 1863.
Right.
Secondly, it's all hardwood floors. Thirdly, it's during the winter time when all the boards compress.
Yep.
So if you're walking in there, yeah, a floorboard is going to creak. And the fact of it is, they were sitting there walking down, doing a video going, all right, well, if you have anything to say or let us know that you're here, and you're walking, so your phone's like,
yeah. Oh,
to begin with.
That's the other one where you get a video and it's like, oh, dude,
it's like a freaking found footage film. Like, you're giving me anxiety and making me nauseous just watching this.
People will just go for that every time. I looked at a picture, probably about 4 or 5 months ago. Someone said, buddy, who are these orbs in my living room, dude? All right, what are we looking at?
The orbs are a different story for me. We'll get into that. So go ahead with your story.
I think a lot of time they can be excused. and this one in particular definitely could be. Like, all right, what are we looking at here, dude? All right, so you look at the whole room, right? And see that there's the orb right there on the left. I'm like, all right. So then I'm looking at the whole photograph, and in the back of the room there's a curio cabinet, and in the glass of the curio cabinet there's like a little bright light in the middle of that, and the guy, you can see the reflection, the guy holding the camera like that, dude. I'm like,
The lens flare.
it's the lens reflecting off the glass, dude.
Yep.
And that's creating this orb that you're seeing. That's not a ghost. That's natural. That's real life, big guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's
people get so offended too when you shoot them down. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole.
See, that's
I'm trying to help you.
where I kind of balance it a little bit, because if like I have a 60-year-old woman, which this actually happened to me, and I have a 60-year-old woman going, I have all these pictures of all these orbs.
Yeah.
My husband passed away 2 years ago. I know he's still with me.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm looking at these pictures and I'm like, see-through, lens flare, sunlight. You know, I'm just looking through them and I'm like, just cross-sectioning it in my head.
Yep.
And I'm just like, you know, you're right. He is still here with you. He's looking out for you.
100%. Yeah.
You know, it's that
That's
that
yeah,
compassion.
That.
It's
right.
You know, am I lying to her? I don't know, because orbs have never been proven. They've never been solved. They've never anything. True. So to give them that little piece of,
it is a piece of mind. It's something that I've done. I had a client, her son was murdered. He was 33 years old. He was left. It was a bad police response. She started seeing like orbs off her back porch. I'm like, yeah, okay, it's whatever you think it is, honey. But
if they're physically seeing,
no, it was in photographs. They were all photographs.
Okay, they were photographs.
They were taken. They were taken at sunset over the lake. The orb was like,
oh god, yeah.
It was definitively
outside. Like, that's either moisture, a bug,
dust, reflection,
dirt,
anything,
whatever,
anything, dude. Yeah, for sure.
You know, and that's the thing that people don't take into account for the people that are getting into this field. Okay, all your generation. You know, I'm never going to say millennials, because we're past that at this point.
Right. I don't even know what the next ones are called.
Gen Alpha and Gen Beta just started 6 days ago, so we don't have to worry about that for a while now. But it's like
no work ethic. I sound like my parents. Go ahead, keep going.
Goddamn, you get a job. I had a house when I was 17. Yeah, the houses were also $30,000 back then.
Yeah, for sure. Another commonality that people don't like look for, people don't even think about. They send me like a video of like dude, I got this camera set up in my living room. I've been hearing stuff at night. I'm like, all right, well, what do you got? What do you got going on? He's like, look at all these orbs, dude. And it's like, go by. They're all just kind of like they're all going in the same direction. They're all going the same speed.
Do they have a pet?
Do you have a I'm like, do you have like a central air conditioner in your house? Well, yeah, but what does that have to do with it? Because that's probably like your airflow going through your house, dude.
Yep.
I'm sorry to break it to you, brother, but it's not a ghost, dude. That's that's just definitely dust just floating.
See, that's another thing that people don't take into account for these days. I mean, I know several people that do, but when I go into an investigation, especially like a private residence or something like that, because as you know, most of these historical locations, no one's living in.
Right.
No one's doing anything in. They probably don't have
super clean, dude. So super clean there.
They are, but they don't have working plumbing. They don't have working electricity. They don't have working heating or air, you know, things like that. So what I've made it a habit of myself to do is when I walk into a private location, excuse me, especially a home, I make sure to note in my head as well as on a notebook, do they have central air? Do they have forced air heating? Do they have this? Do they have that? Locate all the vents where they're at. Because the simple fact of it is, you're going to have those people. Well, I caught this orb right by this chair. Well, guess what? You have an air conditioning vent right behind your chair.
Yeah.
Like, people don't think about those simple little
things. So such little things. Or like pipes to rattle, or like the car that's going up the street and it's reflecting a light through your window, and it's like it looks like a shadow going by out of the corner. No, dude, it's pass the car.
I haven't experienced this before, but I'm just making up a scenario in my head. It's like a freaking 86-year-old grandmother, great-grandmother, great-great-great-grandmother that is like, oh, I hear this deep voice and, it talks to me all the time and this and that and everything else. And it's like, okay, well, what's some of the history? Well, my husband passed away 6 years ago from throat cancer.
Yep.
And I was like, she's like, I'm worried it's a demon in my house. I go to church every Sunday and I go on Wednesdays.
Oh,
and I'm
boy.
like, pretty sure it's not a demon. I'm pretty sure it's you're hearing your husband talking to you and I was like, did he smoke cigars or cigarettes or, chew tobacco or anything like that? She's like, well, yeah, he was like a 2.5 day smoker. And I was like, that would kind of change somebody's voice. I mean, like, I'm like, it's not a demon. It's nothing like that. Like, if you're hearing things like that, it's probably your husband going, clean the fucking fridge.
Right.
Like, it's just, you have to find as an investigator, especially doing private investigations at residential homes. You have to find that balance of like, don't freak them out, but also give them comfort.
Right. Like, you're in charge. That's what you're in charge.
Yeah.
Talk to them. Really?
Exactly.
Yeah, talk
exactly.
To them. Tell them, hey, leave me alone. Not now. Go away. And honestly, it's worked for me. So the day someone told me, buddy, you just got to talk to them. Like, what do you mean? I just got to talk to them like out loud. They're like, or in your head, whatever you want to do. And I was kind of work.
That's why I knew Damien. Damien just popped in the chat room. Hear the fucking demon word.
Oh, hey, guy. The D word. Yeah. Good morning, Russ. He's the guy out in he's out in the UK.
Scotland.
Or he's out Scotland. Oh, beautiful.
Yep.
On the bucket list for sure. For sure.
Damien's a great listener for all shows for Get Haunted. He listens. I don't know when this dude sleeps.
He's always tuned in. Yeah, for sure.
But so I'm pretty sure he literally like puts it on and then it falls asleep for like a 30-minute power nap and then wakes back up.
Well, either way, Damien, we appreciate it, dude. It's good to have that steady fan base that's always in the chat room. It's wonderful.
For sure. Every Monday when I do my show, I always know Damien's going to be there. And if he's not one day, I'm reaching out to people in Scotland, putting an APB on him and being like, what's going on?
Yeah, sure. Right.
So I want to give 2 quick shout outs here real quick.
Oh, please do. Go ahead, Russ.
We got some big things going on this year.
Yeah.
So for the start of it, Cody DeBines and Satori Haas.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh, Satori Haas. Yeah, I know her.
They just posted their new video on their YouTube. And it was done at none other than the Harstuff Hall.
Oh.
Right here in Rockland, Massachusetts.
Oh, still waiting to investigate that. I still can't kick myself in the ass hard enough to get myself.
And they have, like, it just dropped at 7 p.m. tonight. I have not watched it yet, so I do not know what's going on. I am part of Warner Paranormal Preservation Society, which we take care of 2 locations.
Yeah.
Buddy, you've been to our events before. You know how they are.
They're awesome. They're awesome. The Harstuff Hall, that was a Civil War veterans post.
Correct. It was a GAR. Great Area Republic.
I would like to go in there. I just like to look at the paintings, look at the stuff on the wall. I'm a big history dork. And
so much history in that place.
That's a great fun. I mean, the stairs, I almost like ate shit coming out of there once because the stair was a little off. But other than that, great organization.
Well, what do you expect a building being built in 1899?
Yeah, they didn't think about
and it's persevered all this long.
Yeah, it's a wonderful organization.
So what they dropped their video tonight of their entire investigation at Harstuff. So you go over to their YouTube, check it out.
Nice.
Definitely, because from what I've heard, because Matt Warner, who is the leader of Warner Paranormal Preservation Society, obviously, he's seen the video and he's seen the video and he said there's a lot of good activity that actually validates some of the stuff that we've gotten.
Yep.
So for that, as investigators, when you get validation that other investigators have had the same experience and you get the same thing,
that's pretty incredible. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Awesome. So
that doesn't always happen, right? Yeah,
no, it doesn't. It doesn't. So I'm gonna watch that either tomorrow or Thursday with my wife because, of course, Warner Paranormal Preservation Society as well.
Oh, of course.
So
we can catch that on the YouTube.
Yep, YouTube. You can just look up Cody or Satori, and they should have it posted right there. Actually, in a second here, I'll pull up the link and bring it up for you.
Cody's a great kid. I've known him for a number of years. He used to investigate with Ken DeCosta of Rise Up Paranormal. And they'd have the Ocean State Paracon. We'd be a part of that every year. He would always help us like unpack our shit. He's like this kid running around. It's great to see him out there doing things. Beat cancer. He's out there. He's got a good girl out there. He's hooked up.
Yep, and congratulations to them. I know
hooked up with the Hawes family. What a great.
Well, it's not even that. Congratulations to him and Satori on their engagement.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's huge. That's right. That was in like Manhattan. They did it right. A couple weeks.
It was either New York or like Times Square or something like out there.
It was like near the ice rink because I had been there like the week before. I'm like, oh shit, I was right there. But it's two tremendous people did it. So I mean,
exactly. So the people out there that want to watch something of a place that I help run and I help take care of, I haven't been able to lately because of my health issues and everything. But it's a good question, Damien. I will get to that.
That's awesome. I'd like to get to that in a second for sure.
So the second thing I want to bring up is the Maine Paranormal and Horror Con.
Oh yeah, right.
What, buddy? I want you to come up to it.
Where that's in southern. Where is that in Maine? What town?
That is in Augusta, Maine. It's at the northern part. I'm only 3.5 hours from it.
That's not that far. That's like 4 hours from me, dude. I'm just south.
So we have some great people coming in. We have myself. We have Matt Warner. I believe Matt Warner, myself, Jeff Whittam, Jeremy Cotter, and Adam Began are doing a panel on paranormal one of the days when we're up there.
I like Adam. Adam was our first guest. I love Adam.
Yeah. So we have guests like DJ Stroud. We have, or not Stroud. Sorry, that's the Texans quarterback. CJ Graham. Bob Elmore, who played the original Leatherface.
Oh, right. Oh, wow. Yeah.
We have a bunch of people coming in. It's going to be a great draw for Augusta, and it's going to be a great weekend. Ticket prices are very reasonable. If you buy them online right now up until a certain point, I don't know what that point is. I'll have to talk to Jeff, but for the entire weekend, VIP access to everything plus the VIP party, $120 a ticket.
That's not bad though. For everything,
not at all.
Usually that's like one day, and then you're gonna pay extra for each additional day.
Exactly. You want to get into this lecture? It's an extra $30.
Extra $50 for the VIP event.
So that's definitely something we're pushing right now because it's absolutely going to be a great event. Yeah. Let's get to Damien's questions because we'll segue from the paranormal into sports from this one.
Let me post this one. So, how many stadiums do you investigate? You see as many of. How many stadiums do you investigate? You don't see many of them. Damien, I see quite a few of them. I follow my awful Dolphins. Well, I almost went to Cleveland, which I'm like, they may not win. They may, and I ended up not going.
Now, were you talking about watching a football game, or are you talking about actually investigating a stadium?
How many stadiums do you? I think he said investigate. So I've investigated
so it's on the paranormal side.
The paranormal side. I've investigated the Stadium Theater in Woonsocket. But that's more of a show hall. That's not like an actual sports stadium.
I'll tell you how many stadiums I've investigated.
Oh no, yeah, I know that.
Because you can't get into them.
They're freaking huge, dude. I'd love to investigate at Fenway. I'd love to just walk barefoot on the field at Fenway.
Oh,
it's a dream, dude. It'd be a dream. But
think about going and investigating Fenway, Wrigley Field.
Right.
And I hate to say this, the shoe in Columbus, Ohio. But also look at Pasadena. Look at, everything like that. There are stories there.
Investigate while watching a game. Dude, Damien, let me just throw something at you really quick.
Ooh.
I investigate, and I try and do it at a time of day where there's going to be nobody else around. Like usually at night, usually later at night, there's no cars outside. There's no people mowing their lawns. There's no neighbors yelling at their kids. There's nothing going on. I like to control the environment, control the sound. Russ,
can you imagine investigating a stadium during a game? Can you imagine what the audio recording would be like? It'd be like third floor conquest, standing in the middle of it. fans cheering, hot dog coming off the grill. Like, you're tagging everything every 2 seconds. Oh, that was the toilet flushing.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous. It'd be ridiculous. It's like, as much as I like public investigations because it gives people an opportunity to like taste like ghost hunting, I guess, a little bit. That's not investigating. That's just like, more often than not, you're not going to get really much on the. I don't know. I don't know.
That's my personal.
Way too many people. Way too many people, dude. Way too many people. It's like,
your audio.
Don't nobody whisper. Don't nobody whisper.
But you always have those people going, "Did you hear that?" It's like, and then you just, as you are the leader of the group, or so-called, taking these people around. You're just like, you're sitting there, you're just listening, and then you just go,
right.
What did I say?
Come on, man.
It's just one of those things that, like, all right, so we segued into sports now. So Damien and I have investigated absolutely 0 stadiums in my life. Unless you want to count me in high school investigating my football stadium because I was there with a girl at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Different kind of investigating.
Yeah, that's a different kind of investigating.
If there was nobody in the stadiums, like Fenway would be up there for me, like Wrigley,
That would be very eerie, though.
Yeah, right.
Like walking into a stadium and just seeing an empty ballpark or a football field or a soccer stadium, depending on where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
We
have here in Rhode Island.
Yeah, soccer's becoming bigger in the U.S. now.
Of course.
Well,
we have in Rhode Island the old McCoy
Shout
Stadium.
out to my Columbus crew for winning the cup there last year or 2 years ago, something like that. But
yeah, I'm not a football guy, but
I'm not either. But I mean, it could be interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a sport of endurance, like constant running back and forth.
I think the reason I don't like soccer is because I don't understand the rules. I don't understand what like certain players play in the game and everything like that. Like football, you have a running back, you have a wide receiver, you have a tight end, you have a quarterback. You know what their job is.
Right.
Whereas in soccer or football, you're like, who the hell is this guy running down the field? Like what? It's
the
like
ref holds up the card, the different color card. That they do that in soccer. Right?
But it's almost like
know that.
It's almost like in hockey with the goalie leaving the net. Like it's like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Why are we doing this?
Like it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But okay, we'll segue into sports now. We talked a little bit of paranormal there. Let's segue into sports now.
Oh, sure.
So you're going for Notre Dame against Penn State.
I am a lifelong Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan, and unlike my other professional sports teams that I love and cherish, Notre Dame has yet to let me down yet this year. So they did lose one. They lost to Northern Illinois, and that's the last time they lost the game. So I mean,
Northern Illinois won by 2 points, 16-14.
Right,
that was the only loss of Notre Dame season.
Riley Leonard, he's pretty good. I mean, he's not Joe Montana, but he's pretty good. He's serviceable. Their defense, though, is what's really impressive for me. I think that's what's going to help them against the Nittany Lions. And
I really honestly think Penn State's going to fall really quick and in a hurry because no offense to anybody out there that lives in PA or anything like that, James Franklin does not know how to fucking coach.
Right.
And I will be bluntly honest with you. He has no idea how to coach. And I'll admit this myself too. After the loss from Ohio State to Michigan, again for the 4th fucking year in a row.
They weren't even ranked this year. They still beat you guys.
Exactly. I will say this, admittedly. Ohio State should not have made the playoffs.
Right.
The only reason they did is because they expanded it to 12 teams.
Yeah.
That is the only reason. And you know what? This year was the second year I've ever seen Alabama not make a playoff run.
Right. No. Didn't they get in? Because Miami didn't get in. They put Alabama in.
Nope, Alabama did not get in. They were not in any rounds of the playoffs.
Well, that's great. I like to see the turning of the tide from time to time.
You look back on it and you go, okay, Nick Saban left Alabama.
Yeah.
Now they're absolute shit.
They're shit. Yeah, which is good.
Belichick lets Patriots.
They are shit, dude. They are garbage.
Now everybody's blaming Tom Brady because
I don't know if I blame Tom Brady. They kind of didn't resign him. They passed on resigning him. So I mean, they could have
went to Tampa and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, of course. Honestly, I think Arians was just like a figurehead. I swear to God, Tom Brady was like the full-on coach, calling all the plays. Hey, coach, this is what we're gonna do.
Oh, most likely.
Sure.
I mean, he has that football IQ of, I hate Tom Brady because
hate him. I hate him, dude.
Everybody out there, I'm a lifelong Cleveland Browns fan.
Oh,
yes, I've had my misery.
For sure.
So let me just wallow in it a little bit.
Oh.
But I hate the man, but damn sure do I respect him.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah.
What he's done for the sport, I respect him all the hell I can.
Hell yeah. I mean, I rooted against the man for 20 seasons. When he was in New England, it did by like the late 2000s, early 2000s, like 9, 10. It was like, oh my God, how much longer is this going to go on? It went on for another like 9 years. So it's painful.
I get the dynasty thing. I get the 6-peat. I get the 3-peat. I get all that. But as a sports fan, give us something else.
Right.
Don't have the same two teams over. And I will say all this, and whoever's out there listening, I'm sorry. Fuck the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh hell yeah, dude. Oh hell yeah. I did root for them when they were nothing, when they were shit.
I am tired of seeing them every fucking year.
Yep.
Like, we'll talk about this past Sunday. Way to fucking blow that game. You didn't even blow it. You fucking tanked it. You had no energy. You did nothing.
Nothing. They did shit, dude.
I mean, for who was it? Who did they play? I just had it on
the truth. They played Denver. That was the game I was watching closely, because if the Dolphins would have actually won and Denver would have lost, I'm like, are they going to lose to KC? My Dolphins would have made the playoffs. I mean, they would have.
They blew them out, like 38-0 or something.
38-0, dude. Like, what the fuck is this shit?
Like, you weren't even trying. What was Andy Reid sitting on the bench eating burgers the entire time? Like, was Mahomes like making another baby? Like, what are we doing here?
I did a 9-leg parlay. They were the last game of the parlay I needed to win. I picked Kansas City because they were 10.5-point underdog. I'm like, they're going to cover this spread, no problem. Blown out. Fuck you, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
$838. Like, bye-bye. Oh, come on, dude.
Like, done for. But, no, getting back to college sports, I had enjoyed college sports.
Yeah.
Up until they brought the whole NIL deal into it.
Oh, the paying college players? Dude, what the hell is that about, man? I remember Blue Chips. Remember Blue Chips with Shaquille O'Neal and Nick Nolte? Because they were paying players, and they got caught and they got kicked out of the sport.
Oh, gee, let's see here. What was it a couple years ago? The Sean Payton and the Saints putting bounties on.
Oh, Bountygate. Yeah, that was a little bit ago. But yeah, taking players out. But Russ, that happened when I was in high school. I remember watching like videos and like, hey, buddy.
Oh God, yeah.
Hit him in the knees, buddy. All right, coach.
Yeah. Hit him right in the side of the knee. Take him out.
Yeah, hit him really hard with your shoulder. Like,
you'll get $50,000 if he doesn't walk off this field.
It's beautiful. But I mean, it's
but,
all.
I enjoyed college sports prior to the NIL deals because I always said, and I still stand by it, these kids that are going through college are playing for their careers.
Right.
That's the reason they're so committed. These ones that are performing at a high level.
Yes. It's like a playoff game for their career. Every week.
Oh, for sure. And I will say this. Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State, wide receiver. He is a redshirt freshman.
Wow.
He put up over 200 yards against Oregon last week.
Yeah, that was incredible.
He had over 100 yards in just the first half.
Mm-hmm.
I will quote, he said, if you're going to guard me man on man, be ready to lose.
And he's a freshman. He's like he just graduated high school a year ago.
This kid's 18, 19 years old and playing for, and I will say this, don't take offense to it, one of the biggest dynasty sports teams in college football.
The biggest programs, yeah.
Ohio is so storied.
Mm-hmm.
You got Ohio, you got, USC, you have Notre Dame, of course. You have, Michigan. Alabama, Michigan. Texas. You have all these places.
Clemson, yep.
Yep. So, I mean, that's why I enjoyed watching college football, because I'm like, these kids are playing for their career. They're the ones playing for their next step.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
And now that they have the NIL deals, what was it? I think I saw Shedeur Sanders from Colorado was getting like $7.2 million a year or something like that. And that's not including, because they now open it when they did the NIL deals. Mm-hmm. They now opened it to sponsorships as well.
Oh, God. These kids have no value at all, dude.
Not only are you getting paid by the college, but you're getting paid now by sponsorships.
Yeah.
And you're a freshman in college.
You've done nothing.
You've done nothing yet.
Right.
Prove it.
Right. In pro ball.
Exactly.
If you're gonna stop playing high school, next is gonna be high school kids are gonna get money for these national.
I can only imagine the booster fundraisers of that.
Yeah, happens. Right. These national level kids that are like bred for top quarterback in the country.
Hey, buy tickets to win a brand new Mercedes-Benz EL 300.
Oh God.
How much are tickets? $5,000 a piece?
Right. It's awful. I don't agree with paying college kids at all. You there for an education?
I've been a college kid. I know how it is. You do struggle.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless you're from a well-off family, you do struggle. But you're giving these kids a glimpse of your future life, what could happen. You can get drafted in the NFL, NBA, MLB, and get paid. I mean, perfect example.
Oh, that's
Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh, fucking Dodgers.
They're in over $1 billion of deferred payments.
Yep. That's
for their
insane.
Players. They've signed contracts that are 10, 15 years long.
Oh, that kid that just got signed. That was the Mets, but Soto. The Mets are gonna be paying for Soto for the next 15, 20 years. Is it
Juan Soto?
Yeah,
came from the Reds. Yeah. They're gonna be paying him.
No, he came from the Yankees. He was from the Yankees.
Oh, he played for the Reds first, and then
before that,
traded or free agent or whatever.
Yeah.
But fuck the Yankees too.
Yeah, fuck the Yankees. I hate the Yankees.
Again, born and raised Ohio. I'm an Ohio fan all the way around. Also, fuck the Bengals.
I get the Air Browns.
The Bungles.
The Bungle. They were terrible forever, but yeah.
Dude, I am so pissed off because honestly, I was watching the game and Kansas City needed to win for the Bengals to make it into the playoffs.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, we already know the Ravens and the Steelers are already there in the playoffs.
Yep.
Well, wild card at least. Well, not the Ravens, but the Steelers are.
Steelers are a wild card, yeah.
Fuck the Steelers too. And fuck the Ravens as well, because the AFC North, they just go somewhere because that is a whole situation that, I still refer to the Ravens as the Browns 2.0.
The Browns, the first Browns, yeah.
Yeah, because 1995.
That jerk face. That ass moving the Browns. Come on, dude. What are you going to do that for?
Took an entire professional team away from a city that's been there since the 1920s.
And it's people mock me for being a Dolphins fan. I'm like, you know what? They're like, why don't you stick with a shitty team for so long? I'm like, that's the definition of a fan, right? Definition of a fan is Cleveland Browns fans. So you guys have you ever won a championship?
Yes, we have actually. Before they actually made it a Super Bowl, we actually won 5 championships.
The championship back in the old AFL NFL day.
AFL, well, not even NFL yet.
They were
back
AFL,
in the
right?
AFL.
Yeah.
And we won, I believe it was either 4 or 5 championships.
But
we're talking back in the days of people wearing leather skin caps. That was your helmet protection.
God. Oh, yeah. So everybody had CTE. for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Oh my God.
100%. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, I'm going to play the game today. Okay, I'll see you when you get home. He comes home all
drooling and forget his middle name. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, who are you and why are you in my house? Am I even in my house? Like, what the fuck?
Speaking of CTE, have you seen any of the Aaron Rodgers? There was the one on FX, the American Sports Story, or the one on Netflix. You get into any of that stuff?
No, I know they released a documentary on Rodgers for Netflix.
Yeah,
I'll probably have to watch that tomorrow.
The Netflix one was really good. Although people say that they were lying about there was like that kid that he went to high school with that alleged that he was his homosexual lover. Whatever you're into, whatever makes you happy. But it
know
didn't.
What?
It brought him so much shame and guilt that he the repression built up all this anger. That's the route most of these two shows have kind of go, that he was.
Well, see, the problem with it is Aaron Rodgers, when he was with Green Bay, he did great things.
Yeah,
great things with Green Bay.
Yeah.
As soon as he went to the Jets, it was fucking tanked.
And he took the same team with him.
He did. He literally did. But unfortunately enough, Aaron Rodgers is going to end up in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I say Aaron Rodgers. I meant to say Aaron. No, Hernandez. I meant to say Aaron Hernandez. I'm sorry. I mean, that was way off. But anyway, go with the Aaron Rodgers thing. Yeah, and Sousa. Yeah, I worked at Bridgewater State Hospital at the time. People thought that this guy was a rock star hero when he did that. It's like, what? Yeah,
the conspiracy theory behind that, right?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. You want to spin that? Go ahead, spin that out. Let's hear that. What's your thoughts on this?
I watched the documentary on the whole Aaron Hernandez thing.
Yep.
So he has a young daughter.
Yep.
That is being taken care of by his either ex-wife or somebody in his family or something like that.
Yes, his ex-wife, yes.
So he had an insurance policy out on himself.
Yep.
If he was convicted of a crime, it would cancel the insurance policy.
Yep.
There was a loophole for, I'm not going to say the words, but doing what he did still validated the insurance policy. And it was a pretty...
Oh, I bet it was. He had
pretty wealthy.
Yeah.
And he said, and there were speculations, that's why he did what he did.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
To give the money to his daughter, because at that point, he was looking at never getting out of jail.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. Multiple charges, not just Lloyd, but he shot those two guys in Boston, and then he shot that other guy in the face and messed up his eye. And not that he was really a great character anyway, but he was just not. He was just not going in a good direction.
So he did that to pay out to his daughter. That's the.
I could definitely buy that for sure.
Me being a dad, I would probably choose the same route. Going, hey, I'm gonna be in here the rest of my life. My daughter's never gonna know me.
Right.
Versus, hey, I'm gonna be in here the rest of my life, but I have a way to take care of my daughter for the rest of her life.
Right. Surely Max is no paradise for sure. So yeah, I could see anybody wanting to just do that, just doing it. There was always that speculation that the guards did, that people, you don't understand how easy it is to kill yourself in jail, how easy it is to hurt yourself if you want to, how accessible it is.
Epstein didn't hang himself.
He did. He hung himself from the, I've seen people try and do it with toilet paper. It's
God,
work. It's just weird. You don't even think of the things.
It depends on how hard you fall.
Right. Yeah.
Because if you're gonna snap your larynx or anything like that, that's an instant killer. If you snap your larynx, you're not talking again ever for the rest of your life if it doesn't break your neck.
Right. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm not even talking about that with toilet paper. We had a guy that before we started there, it was DOC that was still running in Bridgewater State Hospital, and he was on a 1-to-1. His 1-to-1, he kept asking for toilet paper, so they give him a sheet. Now they give him arm lengths, but then he would run a whole bunch, and he was eating it, but he wasn't swallowing. cut in his throat, and he asphyxiated himself essentially. So then after that, we had to give patients on a 1-to-1, like only arm's length at a time.
Yeah.
So they couldn't. But
I will say, funny story. The one night I spent in jail.
Yeah.
And I woke up in the morning and I was like, "Hey, CO, I have to take a shit."
Yeah.
And he's like,
"Yeah,
here you go." And I was like, "I'm gonna need more than that, probably."
Right. It's gonna be a bigger wipe
like,
than that.
You didn't know the dinner I had before, and I'm stressed, and my anxiety is going crazy. I'm gonna need more. Did you hand me the roll, please?
Prison is no fairy tale world.
No. You know what? Thankfully, I've only spent one night, and it was a very short night.
That's good.
And I wasn't even in prison. I was in county jail.
Yeah, county's not a big deal. Yeah.
No, it's really not. So, I mean, it's just funny to me. But so let's revert here back.
Yes, let's go back.
Let's go back to college here.
Sure.
We got 4 teams standing.
Yeah. By the way, I can't believe Oregon. I can't believe Ohio State beat Oregon. They dominated the whole year, and then they laid down and got shot. Ridiculous.
That was our first loss of the season. Our first game of the season for the Buckeyes was Oregon, and we lost. We didn't even lose. We lost.
Yeah, Buckeye revenge. So
that was our revenge tour.
I didn't anticipate that at all. So yeah, we got Ohio State versus
you got Ohio
Texas.
State versus Yep.
And
then you got
Notre Dame versus Penn State. What are your picks, Russ? What do you think?
I'm taking, and this is not being biased, I'm taking Ohio State over Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would go that route. Yeah.
The simple fact of it is, Quinn Ewers, really, he's done great this season, but he really hasn't proven himself. They really don't have a strong offensive line, so which means Ohio State's defense is going to get to the quarterback a lot more.
Run it the fuck up. Yeah, for sure.
Texas is known to run man coverage.
Mm-hmm.
If you put man coverage on Jeremiah Smith, you're done for.
Yeah, right.
If you do happen to double team him, guess what? We have 2 RB1s.
There's other dudes that are
Judkins and Henderson.
Yep. They find a way. The Buckeyes put up a ton of points on the board almost every game. So it's
100%. So I'm taking Ohio State over Texas because I'm not completely sold on Will Howard, the Ohio State quarterback.
Yep.
He's still a wild card for me.
Is he younger? Is he a newbie?
He came in right before Quinn Ewers left and transferred to Texas. And they decided to start him over. They have 2 other quarterbacks in their roster right now, but I think it's a nice little revenge game for Ohio State.
Oh yeah,
because Quinn left Ohio State to go to Texas because he wasn't getting any playing time. Motherfucker, you were a redshirt freshman. We had a all-pro NFL caliber quarterback the year you came in. So guess what? You're going to sit down and you're going to
learn. Yeah, right. That's what they do with these NFL rookies. You got to sit there. You got to watch for a little bit. You got to learn from the older guy who's been doing this for a few more years.
Exactly.
The NFL is clearly different than college. But go on. Go finish.
Oh, God, yeah. Go
flip the other side. I think that Texas is going to go down like the prom queen. I think Ohio State's going to.
Oh God, yeah. I think Ohio State's on a revenge tour right now, and they're going to decimate everybody in their path.
Yeah, for sure.
Am I saying Ohio State's going to win the Natty? No, I'm not.
I think they have
because on the flip side of it, we have 2 very good teams with Notre Dame and Penn State.
Yep.
Which we put Penn State away pretty early in the season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Penn State wasn't ranked at the point, so it wasn't a big to do or anything like that.
Right. Now they're in the
and I also, by the way, side note, I don't agree with the Big Ten now having 16 fucking schools in it.
Yeah.
We have USC and Oregon in our fucking conference.
Yeah, that's weird. I thought there was supposed to be more of a regional conference.
That's what I thought.
And then mix them more. Notre Dame always gets tossed in with. I think we're in
Notre Dame chooses to be independent.
Yeah, they do. There was 2 or 3 other teams that are independent. And that's about it.
Yeah, that's it. But
always been
I
that way.
see the Notre Dame Penn State game being a back and forth.
I think it's going to be a defensive. I think it's going to be
It's
low
definitely going to be a
scoring,
defensive struggle.
like maybe 20-13. I don't, maybe one team will run away after a while. I think one team will wear the other defense out. I hope it's Notre Dame that we're. I think we can beat Penn State. Honestly, I'm not
Well,
really scared about Penn State. Texas wouldn't scare me at all. Ohio State is the only challenger that actually.
now
That
what would you
just
say
really.
if it was
Oh
Notre
God,
Dame, Ohio State, and a Natty?
the Notre Dame fan inside me say Notre Dame all day, but the
In the reality of
in
situation,
reality, I'm going to say Ohio State. Definitely, they're just a higher caliber.
I don't
Offense.
know what Adam Day did to these kids, but he certainly lit a fire on their ass after that loss to Michigan.
All right,
Because
yeah.
every game they've played since Michigan, they have decimated every single opponent.
Right. Well,
Like it wasn't even close.
think about some of these seniors for like Ohio State. They spent 4 years getting their ass kicked by Michigan. And some of these Michigan kids that spent 4 years kicking the shit, they can always say, "Hey, I didn't go to the NFL, right?" But for 4 years, we beat Ohio State. That's like something they can put on their resume. I think
That is the biggest bragging right. And for anybody out there that doesn't know the Ohio State Michigan, sorry, I keep saying Michigan, that team up north, the rivalry is considered one of the, if not the greatest rivalry in college sports. I mean, besides for, UNC and Duke in basketball,
right.
There's nothing else touching it. These two teams have been back and forth with each other for a century now.
Right, over a century. Yeah, college football has been bigger than pro football. And their stadiums are way bigger in college football than they are in the NFL. There's no comparison.
Well, I think what was it? We had the home game at we Ohio State had the home game at Horseshoe with Tennessee.
Oh yeah, that's another good school.
That we're not even going to talk about that, because I think Columbus, Ohio, took Tennessee's fans making plans of tearing down the goalpost personally.
Yeah.
And they made sure that was not going to happen. Because, again, that game was a complete decimation.
Shit show. Now, what are your thoughts on the whole flag planting? Of course, you must not be for the whole flag planting.
I think it was done in bad taste.
Yeah, for sure. It's just
I
for sure.
I get it that it was. You're in the moment. You just beat, Ohio State. They're ranked. You're not. You just beat a ranked team. I get that. But also in the same respect, the history between these two schools.
Oh, it's deep.
Have some decor.
Right.
Don't, be the bigger person. Go out, shake another player's hand. Shake the coach's hand.
Right.
Don't be that asshole that runs out and, sorry to say, Baker Mayfield, ex-Browns player, he did the same thing planting the flag in Ohio State's field.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he did that too.
Yes.
Oh boy.
I believe it was Ohio State.
Yeah.
But it was a big game, and it planted a flag right in the midfield.
God, you just don't.
But be the bigger person, and to you, yes, sports are everything. That's what your career is. That's what your future is. But also have some manners. Also have some, like I said, self-decorum. Like,
Right. Respect for the other player. As much as I hate the New York Yankees, I'm a diehard Red Sox fan. I was born and raised a Red Sox fan. That whole 2003, 2004 just
yeah,
brings me back. But
I'm sure you watched a documentary too.
Oh, dude, I was like crying like 15 minutes into it. But
because I was sitting there watching it, and I was just like, I'm not a Red Sox fan. I respect them because of their dynasty and what they've done and everything they've done for baseball. But again, I'm a Cleveland Indians fan.
Indians, yeah.
Well, yeah, I will always say Indians because it's always going to be the Indians. It's not the fucking Guardians.
That's so gay. I'm sorry. It's not against nothing against.
No, that wasn't a.
That wasn't
derogatory remark or anything like that. It's just
WTF. Come on, guys.
They were named off of the bridge going into Cleveland because there was two statues of a guardian standing at the front of the bridge.
That's stupid. That's like the
Yeah,
Commanders.
right?
Like, what are you doing, guys? That's just awful. Why would you do that?
Well, you know what? Then you go back and look at how teams were made.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the Cleveland Browns. How'd you come up with that name? Well, the owner just took a shit and looked at it and was like, "Well, it's brown." And that is literally
and he forever cursed. And he forever cursed the team.
That is a lineage. That is the history. That is what happened with the Cleveland Browns. Because I'm sorry, who has a fucking football named after a color?
Yeah.
Can't we be more ferocious? All right, hey, yeah, let's go. I mean,
the Browns.
You know what? I will give you the Dolphins. No, Dolphins have been known to take down great white sharks.
Yeah, right.
Historically speaking, what
that's,
the Dolphins
that's
are
thoughtful of
known.
you to say. I've heard much more derogatory references about.
No, I'm not going to do that. You know,
but I appreciate you.
Like the Dolphins have taken down great white sharks. They're pack animals.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Los Angeles Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders now.
Vegas Raiders, yeah.
They're based off the Raiders. They were pillagers. They came in, took what they wanted.
They're pretty
had
fierce,
no excuses.
Yeah.
The
49ers, historically, these pioneers who went out and gold mine California and open the West. Yeah, these great teams.
The Ravens, besides being one of the most dangerous birds, or one of the most feared birds.
I do like their colors, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
And
the stadium's gorgeous. I went there last year, but
then you have the Browns, and you're like,
what did we miss it on this one, guys? What happened?
That marketing team back when they named this thing, like, I don't even know if they had marketing teams, probably not. But like, what have the Browns done for you besides for internal heartache and constant disappointment? The only thing I can think of that Brown has done for me has delivered a fucking package from UPS.
Yeah, right. Exactly. The Browns. How many first round picks have you picked a first round quarterback, and how many of them have been flops? Well, Baker Mayfield ended up turning around.
On another fucking team.
Yeah, I just think it's just maybe it's the organization, Russ. I don't know.
In the management style, period.
Chicago's fucking terrible. They're a dumpster fire. They're another one that's like
Caleb Williams has some promise.
Yep. Yeah, a little bit. But
you know what? I've always said, I have always said, and I will say this till the day I die. There are two ways you come to Cleveland to play for the Browns. It's either to start your career
or to end it, yeah.
Or to end your career.
Sorry.
I have accepted that. I accepted that when I was fucking 13 years old, 33 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, no. That is the only two options you have coming to the Browns. Start your career, end your career.
Yep.
The Browns are projected at number 2 pick this year.
That's pretty good, dude. You might get something decent. You probably will get something decent, but will they use it right? There's some good names on the board this year too, but
they're projected to take Shandar Sanders at number 2.
That's pretty good, dude. He's pretty solid.
He's a good quarterback, but I am tired of the Browns drafting fucking quarterbacks at number 1. We see how well everything worked out for us.
Right.
Last year, we had one of the best quarterbacks in football in Deshaun Watson, besides for his extracurricular activities. We had to bring in a 40-year-old that was sitting on his fucking couch 2 days before.
Flacco, yeah. Joey Flacco.
And come in and lead us to the fucking playoffs?
He did pretty good, dude. He got like the comeback player of the year award, didn't he?
He did. And now this year we go 3-14.
Oh yeah, Deshaun. I remember when he got hurt, and you guys were like, "You deserve it." The whole Cleveland.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Oh, so you're a Watson fan?
I am not a Watson fan.
Okay.
I believe in karma.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Never wish ill will upon somebody else, or it'll come back to you threefold.
I'm sure he wished a lot of ill will against these women who came out against them or sued the shit out of them or kept them out of
You know
football.
what?
You know?
We could talk about that, or we could talk about Bob Kraft.
Dude, he took his sticker. Yeah, Bob Kraft. Bob Kraft went to. I was saying that Bob Kraft went to a strip mall. I'm like, dude, you're like one of the richest men in New England. Why didn't you just go to someone that's discreet?
Hire a private.
He doesn't want to pay for it. You cheap bastard.
Like what the like? I'm gonna go down to a massage parlor in a strip mall that has a Chinese restaurant and an H&R Block on either side of it, and I'm gonna be laying there as a 78-year-old man going, "Rub lower,
Rub lower.
rub lower."
Tom does a better job.
TB12 would have making this a touchdown. Like, you know, like I said, I have no ill will against the Patriots. I respect them. I don't like them.
Yeah, I don't. I think Bill Belichick. I always liked Belichick. I loved his press conferences. I loved his radio interviews. He made me like I liked his style of coaching. I like that his brain is always going.
Next question.
Well, on football, on football.
That was hilarious.
But I don't know. I think he kind of got a raw deal going out. I think they tried to shafted him, and they went with Gerard. And I'm glad that Gerard Mayo blew right the hell up in their face. It was absolute trash.
You know what? Honestly, I hope they hire Vabral.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. They're going to go for
I really do hope. Well, Vabral has a interview with Chicago this week.
Oh, yeah. He's got an interview with Vegas, and that's why Tommy has the money in Vegas. He's a partial owner, so you think he's going to go to Las Vegas with his boy, or is he going to come home to New England? The debate is on.
Depends on where your loyalty lies.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Tommy or Bobby.
Tommy or hometown.
Yeah. So Vrabel, yeah, that would be. I mean, that would be good for the Patriots. I have enjoyed watching.
Would it be because they said ex-Patriots player Mayo would have done great as a head coach, and we see how that went?
Yeah, he started the season off great. He had that the bank like, wow, they beat the Bengals. These guys are going to play this year, and then they just kind of like ate their own shit out. Yeah, they were terrible.
Yeah, there was no like anything behind that.
No. And as a Miami fan living in New England my whole life and going, I've been to Gillette and the old Foxborough Stadium like number of times, number of football games. See my Dolphins who play up here like once a year, and the Patriot fans are probably. I'm sorry if any of my friends are listening. I probably like the worst fan base. I've had like ice balls pelted at me. I've had beers dumped over my head.
Let's not even start talking
from behind. I had a guy in the parking lot trying to fight me, taking a shot. Dude, this is a football game. I'm a fan. You're a fan. Who gives a fuck who won?
Okay, let's not talk about Bottlegate. A sad, depressing moment in Cleveland history.
What's that? What was it?
Bottlegate?
Bottlegate? What's Bottlegate?
Bottlegate is, I believe, they ended up selling bottled beers for
right. I remember
10 cents a piece or something like that.
I do that.
And all the beer bottles ended up on the field.
Yep.
So that's why they called it Bottlegate. But like, not a proud moment in Cleveland history, but it is in history. I mean, you got the fumble, you got the Bottlegate, you have all these things, the move.
Dude.
It's one of those things that where it's like, when I told my wife before we got married, I'm like, I'm a Browns fan. If you're not going to marry me, who's going to be more loyal to you?
Right.
Than this. Like, I've gone through 40 years of despair and absolute torture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. It's been
but
terrible.
I'm still a fan.
It's been terrible, dude. I almost had like an ulcer at the end of this season. It was just like, I knew it was going to happen. I knew they were going to shit their pants, but I had this little glimmer of hope because I'm a fan, and of course they shit their pants. But
I gotta give it to you though. Your head coach for the Dolphins is
I like him, dude. I like him a
absolute
lot.
gold.
Yeah, I love him. I think his personality. I love his
Oh
style.
God, his press interviews and everything, just absolutely hilarious.
Not a lot of the fans think he's so hilarious anymore because he has been. I still
Well, I
like him.
mean,
I've been wanting Chris Greer to get fired since before McDaniels got there. He was before he got Tyreek. He was just terrible. And I mean, he got
well,
Tyreek, and Tyreek
weeks
that
out.
whole drama. Yeah,
He he pulled the whole Antonio Brown. He's like, I'm
yeah,
out.
yeah. He took his shirt off. He walked off. It's like they should like void his contract because they owe him so much money. It's so like god awful how much money they gorged into him. And he
Well,
honestly,
he can always do the holdout, and they're either gonna have to trade him for somebody that can pick up the cap space, or
trade him for J.J. McCarthy, who's riding the bench in Minnesota, and we have a quarterback for Tua when Tua goes down because he goes down all the time. I've been screaming this all week. I don't think they hear me in Miami, but
to a triple concussion. All
oh,
right,
dude,
yeah.
dude, he had a hip. His hip went at the end of this season. I mean, what is he?
Oh, his
He played
went
like what,
down?
maybe 5 games, 6 games? Yeah, yeah. His hip went down, and he hurt his hip in Houston, and then it got worse against the 49ers, and then he's been out ever since. They're saying, "Oh, if we make the playoffs, maybe Tua will be back." I'm like, "Oh God."
Well,
We
that's
had
just like
Snoop.
Deshaun. That's just like Deshaun Watson coming off the shoulder injury,
Mhm.
coming back starting the year, and then all of a sudden he tears his MCL, ACL, whatever the
Yeah,
fuck it was.
come on, dude. Yeah, and
Like,
a non
dude, you're
hit
guaranteed
injury.
this money to begin with.
Yep.
So who gives a fuck if you go to practice or if you're laid up with a surgery or whatever? I'm
Right.
still getting my money. Dude sees more money a year than I'll see in my entire lifetime.
And probably in like a month. Yeah, yeah. It's
And it's
sickening.
guaranteed.
It's sickening. It's absolutely sickening, and they have no value of. I don't know.
Well, it's
They're
like going
working.
back to the Shiani Otani contract. What was it, like
Yeah,
560 million for 15 years or some shit like that?
yeah, yeah. Right. I mean, he's honestly, if we flip it, he's a good ball player, dude. He's like the second coming of Babe Ruth, they say. Quite possibly,
But
he'll be pitching again this year.
he's a dual way player.
Yeah,
So, because
that's
didn't he just
crazy.
have Tommy John surgery too?
He did. He did. He didn't pitch all year, and they're saying that he actually, I think he pitched a little bit at the end, and then he's gonna be good to go,
He
allegedly.
rehabbed and everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So he's a dual way player, which is
and
the
he
same
hits
way
the
with.
he hit the shit out of the ball.
Oh, he does. Like, I don't know how he does it, but he absolutely decimates ball.
Mm-hmm. He's just got that vision. Some people just have that vision. It's such a yeah. Oh, baseball's so boring. You don't realize how much like actual skill goes into playing the game of baseball. You have like that 0.3 of a second to decide to hit the ball that could be going in any direction. There's so many different pitches that are out there. It's just like I don't know. People just don't understand, don't respect the value of the game anymore. It is slow.
Well, you know what? I give it to these MLB players because they're playing 160 some games in a season,
162 games in a year. That's a long season, but I love it.
where you have the NFL playing 16 games.
Right.
You
18.
have
18 weeks.
18.
Yeah, 17 games. Yeah.
Whatever. You have the NBA playing less than 80 games.
Yeah.
Like,
Hockey
you have
plays a lot
these
too,
guys
but
out there playing back to back to back
mhm.
in 7 months straight. And then if you have the chance to make the playoffs and go into divisional finals and go into the World Series,
Mhm.
like, you have these guys playing for almost an entire year.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's every day. Almost every day,
Yeah.
like a day off, and then they'll go on a road trip and they'll play like 12 games in a row. Some of it's double headers. That's a lot
Well,
of
I mean, then you have the NFL where they're like, "Oh, I'm not going to practice 'cause I'm tired."
right. I
Like, dude,
strained
you
my
just had 5 days off.
right.
Yes, you practiced. You were here for meetings, but
Tyreek Hill admitted in a press conference a few weeks ago that he hasn't practiced enough this year. He's had so many dropped passes. He had the ball ripped out of his hand. Oh, my wrist hurts. Dude, we're paying you a shit ton of money to do nothing. I mean, when he does catch the ball, holy shit, he's fast. But
oh yeah,
he's a talented guy. But the money that they gorged in him is just. I'm so like when I see that piece out, I'm like, oh, what the hell? I'm like, I knew it was probably gonna come because he's definitely a head guy like Antonio. But
Oh God, yeah.
oh my God, he's such a prima donna. But yeah, good luck, brother. I just pray that the Dolphins get like something good for him. They need a steady, like we had Skylar Thompson as a backup. He's been shit since we took him.
Who?
Skylar, it's such a terrible name. Skylar Thompson. We did cut him this year finally, but he was starting these games. He couldn't go a game without. He couldn't go like a quarter without throwing an interception. He was terrible. He was like 3 for 26. He was terrible. Then he went down. And he was sucking. And then they got Snoop Huntley from Baltimore. He came in for Lamar a few years ago. He sucked when he first came in, and then he played against he played against the Jets and he sucked this last game. But the week before that, I forgot. Oh, he played against the Cleveland Browns, and he looked like Dan Marino. I was like, oh my God, this is the guy for me, right? And then he came out against the Jets, and he looked like ass. And Tyreek like gave up halfway through the game. Yeah, it was just.
All right, so I'll give you two options here, buddy.
Yeah,
we can continue talking, and I can take a few-minute break for a second.
Yeah,
or we can end the show.
Russ, I've said everything that I have to say. If you have anything else you want to add, that's fine.
Check out Compass Curiosities on Facebook. You can find it on Compass Curiosities. Check out Instagram, TikTok. Trying to get my socials out there, trying to get followers, trying to get everything, out there. Check that out for sure. Other than that, really, I do Compass Curiosities every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great plethora of guests that are ranging from, maybe I'll have somebody that crochets on. I don't know. I'll sit here and just learn how to crochet in front of everybody, but
it'd be an interesting podcast, dude, for sure.
It would be so riveting.
Yeah. My grandmother would do that for hours, dude. I'm like, how do you knit these Afghans in like 2 days, Grandma? Like,
right? Like, how do you do that shit?
It's like, oh. I'm like baffled. But anyway, Russ, it's been great having you on, dude. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna drop you off, and I'm gonna talk about the three dudes bingo for the remainder of the 5 minutes. And
thank you guys so much for having me on, buddy. Thank you again for having me on.
Good luck. I hope to see you in Maine. I hope you see you at Heart Stuff, dude. I hope to see you.
Dude, you'll see me. You'll see me around. Yeah, are you coming?
I've already booked my room, dude. I'm already there.
All right, I'll be there this year.
Gonna get a table as well, so I'll definitely see you.
Fantastic, man. That is awesome. I will definitely see you then.
Always a pleasure, Russ. Take care, dude.
All right, much love, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Peace. Oh, that was Russ Stiver. He's a tremendous guy. All right, so right before I bounce. Oh, private. What's this say? Hold on. Oh yeah. Then I do it. It's always Russ. It's great to see you, Russ. Great dude, great guy, great personality, great conversation. Before I wrap up, I want to just talk one more time, just give you a run through. February 1st through the 25th, we're selling tickets, bingo cards, if you will. The Three Dudes Brews presents the Mark Ambrose Bingo. So, all right, so I'm going to give you an example. So as I said in the beginning, you're going to go from the month of March. If you buy your bingo tickets, you're going to get a randomized card. It's going to look like this. It's going to have Mark's lovely face in the background. He's wearing an awful New York Yankees hat, but it's white, so it kind of blends out with the yellow. So anyway, so you'll see on here there's the 24 participating brew pubs and breweries. So first one is Crooked Current, that's in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Sullivan's Public House, that's actually a restaurant with a lovely selection of craft beers. It's on Armistice Boulevard in Pawtucket. Pivotal Brewing, that's in Bristol, Rhode Island. Lops Brewing, that's in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. The Guild in Warren, that's in Warren. That's obviously it's in Warren. It's the one down by it's in like right on Main Street in Warren. Google it. Google will take it right there. One of the newer breweries open. This is one of Mark's. You'll see Mark at this place almost every weekend. They have like such a great selection of. They have an amazing stout. They have some really like deep IPAs. They have a good sour. They have a little bit of everything. Phantom Farms Brewing. Phantom Farms is a local farm orchard, garden stop place. My wife entered a chili contest and won fifth place a number of years ago. Anyway, they opened a brewery, and it is, I don't know if they're related, but it is absolutely tremendous. But Phantom Farms, up there in Phantom Farms is it Cumberland? Yeah, I think it's Cumberland. Moniker, which is in the lovely city of Providence. Crook Point Brewing, it's a little smaller. It's Crook Point. They have if you're familiar with Providence, we get that bridge that goes up like that. That's their logo. They're located in East Providence, Rhode Island, like right in the backdrop of that bridge. One of the, I mean, there's a lot of fine brewers on here, but one of my all-time favorites, one of my top starting five, Long Live Beer Works. They're right down there in they're in the southern end of Providence. A lovely old mill, just beautiful, amazing beers. They have so many good IPAs. They have dessert stouts. They have like this. They brewed this one a few years ago. I'll be brief, but it's called Bad MF from Hell, and they poured it into growlers. Hold on, I'll let you go so you can. Oh, yeah, I'll peek around. They poured them into growlers, and it was like brownie batter. I was just like drinking brownie batter, and it was like 14% alcohol by volume, so it was special at Christmas time. But anyway, I digress. I start talking about beer and I get all excited. Origin Beer Works, beer project. They used to be located in the Buttonwoods Brewery in Cranston. Then they broke open and they bought the old Beer on Earth. They're located right across the street from Moniker, in the west end of Providence, behind the Providence Public Safety, aka the Providence PD, over in that neighborhood. Providence Brewing, which is if you're familiar with Rhode Island, over by the, like across the street in that back neighborhood, over by the old Coca-Cola building. Ravenous, like the Raven, over in the land of Cumberland. They're a lovely brewery. I feel like I don't get out there that much. Apponaug Brewing, they're over in the lovely hamlet of Apponaug in the city of Warwick. It's in one of the old, I think it's the old Pontiac mills. It's a beautiful mill. It's right down by the river, down by the Riv. It's the Patuxent River flows around the back. They have this nice patio. They have I want to say they have like 8 to 10 beers. They're pretty good. They have food there too. It's a big spot. It's a really nice space. The Burgundian is not a beer, not a brewery, but it's actually like a brew pub. So it's a restaurant in Attleboro, Massachusetts. They have a fine selection of craft beers that Mark, I've never been there, but Mark finds himself there from time to time, diving into 25 craft beers on draft. Fantastic place. Another fantastic place, close to my heart, episode 2 of Three Dudes Brews, Smug Brewing in the Bucket. Special place in my heart. It used to be the Bucket Brewery back in the day. One of the OG brewers in Rhode Island. They closed out. Smug took that spot. Smug has like really good beers. They have everything from like the Pilsner, the Lager. They have the Pilsner. Yeah, they have a coconut IPA. I'm not a big coconut guy, but Costas says he was swimming in it. I'm like, yeah, too much coconut for Buddy, but it was 12% alcohol by volume, and it's delicious if you're into that kind of thing. Another place I've never been that I've been meaning to, Skyrock, which is in the city of Attleboro, Massachusetts. I couldn't tell you where it is. I implore you to Google. The Guild Pawtucket. So like the Guild in Warren, it's not in Warren, but it's in the Bucket. If you're familiar with the Bucket, it's the Guild. So if you go all the way down Middle Spring Avenue, right into the Bucket from like North Providence, go right all the way down. You come to the area where the old DMV used to be, where people like of my generation might have gotten their license, down by this old Chinese restaurant down there. But it's before you get to the old DMV, you're coming down, you're cruising down right before you get into downtown, the Bucket. You take a left, and it's in these old mills. It's a good spot. It's again one of the OGs of the craft brew community. They give space. They brew their own stuff, but I think they give space to like the little guy who doesn't yet have their own space. So that's nice. Foolproof, another Bucket brewery, if you will, but not the Bucket Brewery. Foolproof is right before Crooked Current. They're on, if you're going down Mineral Spring again, you're heading towards the Crooked Current's in the old Lorraine Mill, and Foolproof is just before that. You take a right, You go by where they park all the buses for the city, the school buses, and they're back there in a little. They're like tucked away in the back there. Oh, they got some good beers too. Buttonwoods Brewery. Buttonwoods is a lovely hamlet in Warwick where I work, but the brewery is actually located right in with the Providence Brewing now. Um, Buttonwoods was one of the places I was baptized when I started drinking like good craft beer. They've been around for a very long time. Well, like maybe 10 years now, maybe 9 years, maybe even less. But they have some like really great, a lot of good IPAs, a lot of good beers. In the bottom, Narragansett. Oh, Narragansett, my grandfather's beer, one of the oldest breweries here in Rhode Island. You can find them down in Providence. I think it's called Tockwalkin. Is a fun word. It's over by so kind of near India Point. If you're familiar with that neck of the woods, it's a nice big place. Check it out. They have everything but the Narragansett lager that you buy in the liquor store. So you go there and they have like 10 beers and like two or three different those what are they called? The C word there. The seltzers, the S word. And but he's getting a little tired. And yeah, it's really good drinking. Another place this is another place I haven't been yet. Angle Tree. They're also in the city of Attleboro. It's a hot spot for Mark. You see him there a lot. It's near where he lives, so it's a good spot for Mark to go on the way home before he's absolutely polluted. And beyond the legal limit to drive, and he always drives within the legal limit because he's Mark Ambrose is a swell guy. So you can find him there. And Crafted Hope, which is the brewery in East Greenwich that Three Dudes brewed a beer with called Three Dudes in a Brew Porter. Check it out. Check out all their great beers. So 37 Wide, it's their IPA that I'm particularly fond of. They have another one called Sailor's Delight. They mix it with mango. They have another one they mix with pumpkin. It's really delicious. Really, it's not an IPA either. It's like I want to say it's like a pale ale. So it's not too hoppy for your non-hoppy people. Proclamation. Another one of the OGs of the Rhode Island craft beer community. They're down there in Wallach. They're over by the Aeropuerto. They're in a big old warehouse. There's plenty of space. There's old video games. They have a big old wall. They put a projector up. They put movies and old like 80s and 90s movies. It's like a place for people like my generation would go. The old like the old not Donkey Kong. Maybe they have Donkey Kong. The old like Arkanoid. The old the old arcade games from the 80s. It's pretty cool. Pretty good. They probably have like 15 to 20 beers on draft, and then they have cans. You can buy cans. So many cans. There's so many cans. And the last one on the 24, the Mark Ambrose Bingo, is Vigilant. So you just buy the tickets on Eventbrite. Every ticket that you buy, $10 a pop, will get you one of these cards that will be randomly sent to you. We'll send a digital. We'll send you paper if you want. And you'll go to the breweries and you'll take selfies with Mark. So that's what Mark is known for. He's known to go to the breweries, take selfies. And this is what I mean. So Crooked Current, B1 there, the first one on the list. Hey, I went to Crooked Current, buddy, and I got a picture with Mark. This is what you're going to show me. There's Mark there. And there's the lovely ladies of Crooked Current. This is the brewer, Nicole. Crooked Current and Nicole was the first episode of Three Dudes in a Brew. So, Three Dudes Brews. So just, whew. The flyers again. I'm going to put them up in the breweries and all the participating locations in the coming weeks. You're going to see like links. You're going to see we have put a QR code on the flyers. So you can just like use your cell phone and go think and then buy tickets. We'll start bigging them off in March 1st, and it's Rhode Island Craft Beer Month. It's the Big Labrewski, which we always take part in. They give you like these every like I think there's like 25 or 26 different participating breweries in Rhode Island that participate in that, and you get either a full pour or you get like a 5-ounce pour. It's just a chance to like experience like you pay. I think you pay like $40, and you get 26 of these pours. Most of them are full pours. In these participating breweries, you meet the Rhode Island craft beer community. Wonderful people. Just a wonderful opportunity to share our passions and enthusiasms about delicious craft beer and the good people that bring them to us. Thank you for tuning in to another tremendous edition of the Ghost and the Goat podcast. for Mark Ambrose, for my co-host who didn't make it tonight, Bams. I really miss not talking about Gerard Mayo getting shit canned in the first year. Maybe next week. It's been me, Buddy Thayer. Next week, tune in. Oh God, next week, tune in. Hold on. As I bang out, I'm like gonna come back on and tell you next week, tune in. Next week, tune in. Next week, we welcome the one and only Frank Sinelli. Frank's a great guy. Frank's gonna come on and chat shit about paranormal and vitamins and good health and good people. And Frank's one of them. So tune in next week live at 8:00 as we dive into the paranormal with Frank Sinelli and slide into third base, hopefully with Bams. Oh, look at that, 9:53. Ian, bam, plenty of time. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This has been me, Buddy Thea. The ghost and the ghost. The ghost and the goat. Peace.